Clydebank was very much an industrial town from way back. We had the shipyard, Singer sewing machine, it was very industrial. Hard times hit in the 80s as it hit most of Britain, and things had to change. It took a long time for a lot of people. It was hard for a lot of communities, a lot of unemployment. But over the years it's really got there, and it's built itself back up, and I think we're getting pride back. So this used to be St Eunan's Primary School, and that closed down and got moved into a new school. And the first idea was this was going to be housing. But a bit of investigation, there was asbestos and all sorts of other stuff under the soil, and it was decided it can't be used for housing. It just was not suitable. So big discussion about what can it be used for, discussions with the community, and what you see in front of you is what we come up with, this beautiful park. There was very few decent links from the top end right down. This opens it right up. I think it also makes it safer for people. It's easier to get to the shopping centre, it's easier to get to the train stations, the bus stations. So yeah, it's been a great link. It's beautiful, it's open, people feel safe coming through here, and I think it has enriched the community.
Some of the social deprivation in the Dunbartonshire area, being able to put in something positive for the community has been great, and the green infrastructure funding we received, basically we couldn't have done it with the site if we didn't have funding like that.
The children were involved in naming the park and having their views heard on what they wanted to see in the park. For the children coming down here, it has many benefits. Obviously they're connecting with nature, they're getting their hands dirty, they're seeing where their food comes from.
I like going down to the park because it just makes me feel really happy, and it makes me feel like I want to plant more things and yeah.
In the greenhouse we grew stuff like cucumber, I think we done tomatoes as well, and spring onions.
Whether it's coming in for a bit of gardening and exercise and things like that in this side of the park, or just having a walk with your dog or your family around the main biodiversity park, it's just a great asset for the area. Gets you away from the TV and the computer for a wee while, and hopefully helps you to get a bit of exercise and improve your mental health.
My papa, me and him come down to walk the dog, and it's just really good because we can just talk about all our old memories and how fun it was, and it's just a really good thing. It's just so nice, and it makes you feel really calm.
So I first got to know the site when it was mostly just strewn rubble everywhere, when the old St Eunan's Primary School had been demolished, and I had noticed at that time that there was quite a few nice plants coming through on the site, as plants will naturally do, is just start to colonise the site. So some of the species that are sort of making their way back into the park include common knapweed, bird's foot trefoil, and these are excellent pollinator plants, and they're also really good indicators for us when we're looking at a grassland to see, well, if these types of indicator species are coming back in, there's a really good chance that over the years as this place develops, we will get a lot of native species coming back onto the site. I'm delighted that the kind of a nature route was chosen as the option when the housing opportunities weren't viable for the site. We're standing just now in the garden, the community gardening kind of side of it, and it itself is producing lots of different varieties of species that are going to be good for pollinators. There's around 40 new trees have been planted in the park, nice and spaced out, so that eventually on a beautiful day like this, they will be providing shelter opportunities as well. The grassland itself, if you're thinking about thunder and lightning and things like that we might be getting as part of our generic sort of climate change, grassland like this, can really capture the water, it can slow the flood water down before it reaches down into the rivers, and so there's lots of different opportunities for a really good quality green space like this to help with climate change challenges, as well as provide nature with a good opportunity for shelter and feeding on. We have now been able to create this wonderful green space right in the middle of an urban area, and we wouldn't have been able to create this without the input from the funding at all, so it's very appreciated.
The green infrastructure means for us as a school that we have an opportunity right on our doorstep to use this amazing space for a whole host of reasons that support children's learning, attainment and well-being.
You've got the kids in here learning about the outdoors, they're enjoying the park as well. You get the dog walkers around here, the elderly that are in here, people just passing on a lovely day to go to the shops. They've got a beautiful park to walk in. That's what green infrastructure, it benefits everybody.